Check, check, check. Yeah, we got some audio this time. Boom. We are going live. We are not planning it. And we are sending it. Why are we doing that? Because AI development needs to be done live. Why wouldn't it be? I've been talking a lot of ish about doing it live while I record it. But why not do it live? So, YouTube, you my boy Blue. And for everybody who's watching this or anybody that's watching this, guess what? Subscribe to my channel. We're going to do it live every day. So, earlier on the first video that had no audio, I went into the introduction of what I'm going to do, why I'm doing AI live, and how you guys can follow along, build your own. So first things first, a little bit about me and why I got into AI. It was about, well, you know what? It was really when the day after my daughter Madden was born. Ended up sitting there with her and saying, hey, if Dad ever sees an opportunity to take it and to pursue something to create a career where I can have more time to spend with my babies, that's what I'm going to do. And long story short, down the road, here we are with AI. So what are we doing for live AI development? Why is that important? Well, there's a lot of really cool tools available, and people just need to figure out, hey, how do I put this into my application? How do I integrate it into my life? That's what we're going to be doing. So what I said on the first video was on the 2:30 p.m., we're going to call a spade with AI. And that's just going to help everybody really, hey, this is what it is. Let's get a little more comfortable. It's here to stay. Okay. So first things first, there's a lot of worry about like, oh, my data and everything. It's like, are you using Microsoft 365 or Google ever? You've been carrying around this thing in your pocket for the last 10 years and scanning your face with it. If you're worried about your data, you can hit those privacy restrictions. You can do everything you can in the settings, but at this point, it's like, hey, let's just optimize everything and see how fast we can go. And hey, we got to bring this up on the LinkedIn Live. I got my little schedule here. But one of the things to point out is when I've been talking to people about AI and people that are using it in their life or business, what they find, and I'll show you this video clip of my boy Gavin later, but he was one of the people I met at the mall when I went to the food court with signs. And he's got some really good advice at the end on how to really think about this because it's going to give you more time back. And then for the introduction, and let's call a spade, we got to go through a LinkedIn blitz because timing is absolutely everything. But for our first tutorial that I put out, we're going to do Haven of Hope. So I got to get, essentially the docs. And Cameron, I'm going to have to back that up because I got to start at the very beginning, right? Like, hey, what is a computer? What's a URL? So I'll put together that list of docs, and by doing that, everybody at Haven of Hope will be able to jump on and say, hey, all right, now I can follow this step by step. I got to send you that form, and we'll go from there. Huge shout out on LinkedIn to Miss Katie Tate. I don't know if you're going to see this, but if you guys don't know, Katie Tate is doing a ton of work. I don't even know if that's your last name anymore. That was your last name when you were like 4. But she's done a ton of work for Colorado, the oil and gas industry, and what she does for the community and outreach to communicate, what that industry does is huge. Got an award from Koga, well-deserved. You do a ton of work. Great company. Keep it up. Good job. Let's see. The other thing, your boy might have made it a little bit because I got a message from the Flippin' the Barrel team, and they are a big leader in the energy industry. It'd be great to do a little podcast with you guys. I don't want to plan it though. Let's just do it live. Now, for our AI development project at 4:30, this is what you got to start thinking about. The first one I'm going to do is for education, for teachers, and people in my life that have, ran into me along the way, taught me stuff, and put up with me as we go. So for every teacher out there, I'm sorry for everything I ever did in class when I was there. Spent 8 years in college, definitely not a doctor, but everybody can develop some AI, okay? You can. If I can do this, you can too. And for education, why is that important? Because every week or every so often we get an email from my daughter's teacher saying, "Hey, this is what we got going on in the week. This is what we're gonna do." That takes a lot of planning, a lot of prep every single year. I'm sure you got years and years and years of different, hey, what we're gonna do all year, the different syllabus. See how much I went to class, but teachers have a lot and they have it planned and they're doing a lot of good work. They're not getting paid a ton. So how can we help them? Imagine taking your entire course that you've had for the last how many ever years, putting it in a Vertex AI conversation, and now you have your own expert in it. So not only what are we doing this week, parents can come ask what's going on, contact information, it's huge. So just a little optimization alone on being an expert is really going to change what you do every day. So I'm going to knock that out at 4:30. And I got to go to the post office after this. So I'm going to, in this video, go to the post office, prep that stuff, come back making AI expert and how to help education teachers, professors. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back later tonight probably sometime, and I'll fire up the live. But there's a lady on LinkedIn you got to start paying attention to, and her name's Barbara Carr. Barbara, if you see this, the way you think and where everything's going, I agree with completely. People need to start figuring this out. You're not going to need a whole bunch of stuff to get a lot done, right? AI is essentially going to be an individual optimizer. You can make it, I want to be an expert in marketing, sales, research, all of this stuff. So you can do a ton of things. You're going to be able to reduce it down to, hey, I bet there's 100 people in my neighborhood just on my streets I can do all this stuff with. And a point to prove that, also with Gavin, and timing is everything, but these guys are running international teams powered by AI. And it turns out the coolest place I've been in a long time is Discord. That is awesome. And I also am going to be putting together a tutorial today for a webhook for Dr. B in Shore Lake Dental in Clearwater, Florida. He is going to be using AI in a different way, and it's actually pretty cool, the design they got set up. Dr. B, Elena, if you guys see this, the Google team and I, we had a little bit of a meeting. We went over. There's some things I've been pushing this thing to a limit just to see what it can do. Had to backtrack, had to reset some stuff and delete some old settings, but up and rolling again. Got to get you that webhook live because the way they're going to use it is pretty interesting. I think you'll like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a 30-day plan. And I'll get that out in email tonight. I'll post it on every social channel I have. But the goal is, all right, let's get used to AI. All right. The first thing I'm going to do is take all of my website data, all the analytics from Google, anything I can get. I just take it and I put it into Bard. Like Bard, get up in my data. Take it, run with it, use it any way you can. And a lot of these applications are going to be, hey, I want to start with ChatGPT. I had this awesome conversation. We're going to take over the world. Okay, now what do I do with it? Well, let's take it, let's organize it, let's put it into a Vertex AI agent, and we'll go from there. Now, I want to show you guys just real quick what we're going to be going over on at 4:30. So we got to bring this up. Where's that window? I got to put up a new window capture here, but it'll be coming up in 1 second. Because you got to see the little chatbot. Google. Let's see, is it this one? Yeah. Okay. So, look at this. This is what we're going to need. We're going to go over this stuff because we got to figure this out. And I got to show you guys how to do it. And it's really easy. If I can do it, you can do it. Okay? I promise you. It is not that hard. Let me get this window capture resized here. I don't want to talk about it. It's been a rough year. But let's talk about what Vertex AI Conversation can do. I've made myself a little AI agent, and it's an expert in what's on my website, which is a powerful tool because you can make these AI chats with all of the information on your website. Be doing some in-person trainings, what's an AI loop? And this is the really effective part of it. Like, hey, how do we go from a Google form to a sheet? I use every tool I possibly can. Zapier, GPT, Google Docs, into Wix, and this. I mean, whoever's in your organization, just make a Vertex AI agent person. Like, go learn this. I don't work for Google. I don't get paid by Google. It's just that good. But let's check out what my agent can do, and we'll go from there. So right now today, Hank just likes hearing what up. That's what he likes talking to. Tell me about JAI. All right. Tech-driven individuals from Colorado. You bet. Go Broncos. Look at those colors. And then, if you've been to my website before, you probably didn't see this search bar up top because it was black. Hard to pick out. But this thing has a ton of power. This search bar right here, I trained in some of the documents of the Colorado cannabis industry. Why did I do that? They're constantly changing. They're hard to understand, and there's a lot of them. And it's also a good example for the previous industry that I worked in. Have you ever had to fly a drone to study moss, to see how many plants you could have next to your drilling rig? There's a lot to understand. So how can you take all these documents that you need to understand, make an AI expert in it, and then make it your own? And this is Google Vertex AI search, but here's a quick example of what it can do. Hey, how old do you have to be to buy cannabis in Colorado? Not a hard question, not that cool. You can figure that out on Google. The power of this is the follow-up. And this was a question when I stopped into some of the dispensaries, like, hey, what challenges are you facing? Is there any regulatory stuff? This is one of the questions that got brought up. And this is just an example. So if there's anybody out there that knows this for sure, can prove it, let's verify this with the AI and help it get better. But if I go, if a person goes into a dispensary, has their medical card, and buys 2 ounces, are they allowed to go back to the recreational side and buy 1 more ounce? Because you don't want to miss on the high side. I don't know exactly what the laws are, but can AI help us find information on it and be accurate in it? We'll see. So in a single business day, it gives me the 1. So you got to follow up, help these things grow. It's fairly new. Okay. After they buy 1, can they go medical side and buy 2 more in the same day on the same trip? See what it says. Can you purchase 3 total? So that's what we got to try and check out. The AI is saying you can go to the medical side, buy 2, go to the recreational side and buy 1. If somebody can verify that, knows Colorado cannabis laws that well, please check it out. If you go to the website, you can check into some of these documents. I think they might be locked on my data store now, but I'll open them up and make them public. But it's just an example of what you can do with AI. What that's meant to do is, think about it for educators. If you put in your last 20 years of expert knowledge, Now your entire class, all of your students, anybody who wants to go learn can check out the search. You can train the chat to be a teacher, almost like a virtual AI powered you. And you can start taking over a lot of things. You're going to give yourself a ton of time back. So I got to hit the post office. I will be back at 4:30. At that time, what we're going to do is just build from start to finish. Hey, I'm going to get all these PDFs that I get from my daughter's teacher. I'm going to organize them, upload them, and train an AI in it in about 30 minutes. It's going to be quick. We'll go over it on AI Live. You guys can just watch, take it in. And then what I'll do is later in the night, I'll put together a step-by-step doc of really how to do it, what's going on. And then by doing that, you can follow it step by step and develop your own. So the goal is, hey, let's show you what we can do really quick live. I'll put all the information on the website so you can follow it step by step and build your own. And believe me, if I can do this, you can too. Okay? AI is here to stay. It doesn't take 3 to 5 years to be effective. And if you think it's going to take 3 to 5 years to be effective, you're going to get smoked. I will make that clear. The other thing we got to talk about, and I saw this on TikTok from an actual real full-time done it her whole life AI developer, 35% of companies, people are using AI secretly. If you're in those 35% and you're sending out emails saying don't use AI, you're not going to have a workforce in about 30 days. So you might want to figure it out. Google Vertex AI is a powerful, cool platform. It's safe, it's fun, you can do a lot. 4:30 p.m., I'm going to the post office, and we will go from there. See if this worked. And, it says I got audio. So if I don't have audio on this one, I'll fix it for 4:30. But AI is here to stay. Check out my website, talk to the chat, talk to the search, interact with stuff. It's going to be fun.